Hello everyone, this is Tim, and I wanted to do a quick video about kind of a few videos that have been going on the internet, on YouTube lately, and it's mainly dealing with giving extra XP for good role playing during a session. And there's been a few people that have weighed in on this, and I know those videos have a lot of responses. The main videos were Azurk83, that's Aaron, uh, Jordan with Webhead123, Andrew Wood, and TheNerubin, which is a new guy. And they're all great guys. Sometimes we have different opinions on things. I think sometimes we put things in certain ways that are a little abrasive, maybe, or maybe we could state things in a more fair fashion, I guess. I don't know. I tend to be pretty laid back and easygoing. Um, I'm not very confrontational, probably even when I should be, but that's just my personality. And if you watch some of my videos, I think that personality has kind of come through a little bit. Uh, I'm willing to listen to different points of view, and I usually reserve judgment, if I make any judgment at all, until later, really until I just hear a lot of different things and just get input. And really, I want to be always open to new ideas. So for me, when it comes to the whole idea of rewarding good role players with extra XP, is I've never really done it that I can remember. There might have been a time when I did it when I first started, but I felt awkward. I felt like I was picking favorites of my friends or strangers, depending on what game I was running at the time and who was playing. It didn't seem to fit role playing for me. I've never really considered role playing to be competitive in any fashion. It's normally cooperative. There's that whole thing like there's no winners and losers. You can debate on that, I think, maybe a little bit, but for me, that's pretty much how I think of it. I don't go into a game thinking, I'm going to win tonight. I think I'm going to get into character. I'm going to participate and create a story with the GM or with the players if I'm the GM. And the idea of it's interesting because we want to have good role players at our table. I think that goes for everyone. We want players that are paying attention. We want players that are coming up with cool ideas. I love players when they have, like if there's some enigma or mystery, and they just start spouting off what it could be. And as a GM, half the time I throw out the real reason and I take their paranoid delusions because they're so much better. Just the inspiration just at the table. I tend to grab, steal, five-finger discount, whatever I can, and whatever makes a better story, that's what I use. I've thrown out entire sheets of prep work because of an idea that a player had at the table. And I say, you know what? That's 10 times better than what I had prepped. So, I don't even tell them that. I just roll with that idea. And I just shoot from the hip the rest of the session. But I'm getting a little offhand or a little off topic here. So when I have, given out extra XP, if I remember right, I felt awkward. It didn't feel right for me. While I will agree that competition does generally bring out good things in people, it makes people achieve new levels, especially in like athletics and I would even say life and I really don't want to get into socio-political discourse. For me, it's not really about achieving a new level. It's not really about. I guess I strive to be a good GM, and when I'm a role player, I strive to be a good player, good role player as a player. I've done a few videos where I state that my playing skills got a little bit of rust on them, and in some ways I had become. I don't know if I would necessarily say a problem player, but just a chaotic player. And sometimes my character's choices uh, weren't always really in character all that much. They just I don't know. I just thought they were fun at the time. So I've been having my own personal debate with that, and am I a good role player? As a player, um, would I like getting extra XP for being a good role player at a game? I don't think I would. I I don't know. I would want it to be, kind of like a band of brothers. Like, if one of us has an idea, we all throw in for, we all, I don't know, we're all a part of something, and we all get like the same reward. But I'm divided. I don't know. I saw Andrew Wood's video, and it was interesting because it was so different than how I look at role playing games. Competition and role playing games for me don't seem to really coexist all that well. Excuse me. But obviously in his games they do, and he has players that really feed off that. They compete with each other. They probably trash talk each other, I would think. I think that would be kind of cool. It's like, hey man, I've been getting extra XP for the last 4 weeks. What have you been doing? So I don't know. It's all the videos have made me kind of wonder if what I'm doing is right. If maybe there's a better way. And I think those are good questions to ask. If you are set in your ways and you're not willing to listen to other points of view sometimes, you might be just making, you might have some substandard game that could be a lot better if you listen to other people and their ideas. And I think that's what's good about YouTube. You just listen and you find out what other people think, and something that you think is bog standard might be different everywhere else. Um, some of the stuff that Andrew Wood does in his group, some of his other videos, like soliloquies and just players writing journals and character like in every single game, and the fact that he runs games for 3 to 5 years, that is very impressive. I think the longest campaign I've ever run, if you don't count play by post games, is probably maybe 2 years, maybe a year and a half. So some of that is GM burnout, some of it is gamer ADD. Where there's the next shiny game that you want to play that's sitting on your shelf. Uh, instead of doing like game prep for the current campaign, you're like, oh well, there's this nice book over here I should be reading, and it just draws you away. But for whatever reason, that's interesting. So there's a lot of variables, I think, in all of our campaigns and groups. I don't know. So with giving out XP for good role playing, and how Aaron Azurk83 said, by incentivizing some players, you are essentially punishing others because the gap between those characters is changing. It's an interesting thought. Again, I'm not really trying to say what's right or wrong. I'm just trying to just take it all in and interpret it the way I'm going to interpret it eventually. And I don't know. This is probably a wishy-washy response, but it's what I'm thinking. I've always just, if someone's been a good role player at the table, or if just I thought the whole group had a good night, I will give them extra XP into the total, and I'll just divide that evenly. That's just the way I've done it. I don't know if I'm going to incentivize good role playing. I don't really see myself doing that. I've given like fate points or bennies or hero points or character points or whatever you want to call them for whatever system you're using. I've given those out for interesting things, or making me laugh, making the whole table laugh, just ingenious ideas. I think that's cool. It sounded like Aaron Azurk83 gives in-character, in-game benefits for coming up for cool ideas, or being that risk versus reward thing, where if someone will do something, they will get some sort of benefit if they're willing to deal with the consequence. And I've done that. I've done in-game benefits, but again, when one character is overpowered versus the other characters, it's not the same. It doesn't jive as well. I made the mistake one time of giving a PC in an old Rollmaster game a powerful sword, that literally was like grafted onto his hand. Sorry about that. Basically, what I was saying is that I gave a character in a game a powerful sword that was grafted onto his hand, and he was like it had its own like he had a hard time just walking through towns, especially towns that didn't allow weapons and things like that. But he really was more powerful than the rest of the characters, and it was problematic, and you could tell that the other characters were kind of jealous, and it didn't work well. I regretted that decision. The game kind of fell apart after that, and we tried to play something else, I think. Um, so I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be incentivizing good role playing. I think I'm instead going to be just pointed out while we're playing, like, you know what, man, or maybe afterwards, like, that was awesome. Just give someone like a pat on the back, an attaboy, that sort of thing. Because really, when I'm a good role player, that's all I want. I want it to be memorable. I want to inspire the other players to be good role players, and I don't really want to take the spotlight. Sometimes I think I do. So I kind of border, in some games I kind of border on being a spotlight, a hog, and I've actually been working on that. Again, I'm trying to knock the rust off my playing skills. But, as a player, I don't want an XP reward. I just want, I don't know, just a pat on the shoulder, pat on the back. That's really all I don't know. In a different discussion, a little bit different, I don't always use XP. I sometimes will just play a game and I won't keep track of things. In fact, it's more organic. It's like, well, okay, you guys have kind of got over this story goal or this arc of the story or, this theme, whatever. It's time to level up. So I won't even count XP. So, in that respect, I'm not rewarding good XP because it's just when it's time to level, it's time to level. So I've done that. Other things I've done with XP is I have given out XP per session, which basically rewards people for showing up because I've had attendance problems in a lot of my campaigns. But really, in any game, if they don't show up, you're not going to get the XP for that session. So I don't really know if that is a big difference from other people that have run things. At one time I even put a chart together, it's like 3 sessions for level 1, 4 sessions to get up to level 2, and then, it was kind of a scaling, kind of exponential kind of thing, where each you needed more sessions to get to the next level, so forth. Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of rambling, and you probably turned off the video by now. But I don't know. I've enjoyed all of the responses. I don't know. As long as we're civil and we don't mind having different viewpoints, I think it's all good. So, listen to everybody's view and come up with whatever you think is the best, and that's what you should run with. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.